So today we will discuss about business ethics. That is, what is the meaning of business ethics? Then we will be discussing the characteristics of business ethics as well as the importance of business ethics in the organization. And if time permits, then we will try to discuss on the types of business ethics too. So we will start with business ethics. In last semester also, under corporate governance, we have discussed the meaning of business ethics. So business ethics is an application of ethical or moral principles in the business. It deals with what is right and what is wrong while doing business. It applies to all business operations such as manufacturing, sales, marketing, and accounting, etc. So that is the meaning of business ethics. So what is right and what is wrong? Not as per law, but as per the moral principles, as per the values. That is called as ethics. So if we are talking about ethics, we have to first understand the meanings of values, understand the meanings of moral principles. It talks about what is right and what is wrong. It doesn't talk about that what is right and what is wrong under law, but what is right and what is wrong under human principles, under moral values, and that is called as business ethics. Yesterday, I came across a very nice article related to business ethics. I would like to share with you that I hope that everybody is aware of the name of J.R.D. Tata. Jahangir Ratanji Dadabhai Tata. So he was a very renowned industrialist of Tata Group, chairman of the Tata Group. Before independence and immediately after independence also, he was in control of Tata Group. That means he was the chairman of Tata Group. And Tata Group was progressing, it was earning profits, and it was flourishing, it was expanding. But one thing which is to be learned from the late J.R.D. Tata is that the importance of ethical principles, importance of moral values. Normally what happens is all these things, moral values, ethical principles, they are written in the book. They are included in the manuals of the organizations. They are displayed on the notice boards and on the walls of the organization. But are they followed in the organization? Again, that is a matter of debate, that is a matter of question. So it is very easy to write the moral principles, the ethical values, the moral values which are being practiced in the organization. But it is very difficult for any organization to actually implement or execute these values in the organization. It is not that easy. So in those days, when Tata Group was doing good, it was flourishing, it was the only big group in the country. One day, when the late J.R.D. Tata was having a meeting with his chartered accountants, one of the chartered accountants updated Mr. J.R.D. Tata that, sir, if we can manipulate some figures in the balance sheet, that will save us crores of rupees. On hearing this, Mr. J.R.D. Tata, he asked a question to that CA that whether the suggestion which you have given is legal, whether it is legally correct. The CA was the senior most CA of the organization. He was having vast experience. He immediately replied, yes, sir, it is legal. We are not violating any laws. But under law or as per law, if we can manipulate some of the figures in the balance sheet, we can save crores of rupees. And that is profitable for our business. Then the second question which was raised by Mr. J.R.D. Tata was whether it is ethical, means whether the suggestion is morally correct. And for that CA doesn't had that answer. And his silence made J.R.D. Tata understand that although it is legally correct, the suggestion is legally correct, but that suggestion is not morally correct. And that is called as ethics. That is called as moral values. That is called as ethical practices. That just to implement a practice or just to believe in the moral values, the person was ready to lose crores of rupees, and that is called as values. That is called as ethics. That what is right and what is wrong, although the law says that if you do this, it is correct, but my values say that this might be wrong or this is wrong. And that is called as ethics. So business ethics is very simple, that one should be able to distinguish what is right and what is wrong. One cannot always think of only profit ahead of the human welfare or employee welfare. And that is called as ethics. So although it seems to be very simple, now just try to imagine that how many businessmen or industrialists can follow these ethics. It is very difficult, although it is very simple. जो हम लोग बचपन से सीख रहे हैं, जो हम लोग बचपन से पढ़ रहे हैं कि honesty is the best policy, जो हम लोग बचपन से सुनते आ रहे हैं, जो बचपन से स्कूल से कॉलेज तक हमारे को पढ़ाया जाता है कि कभी झूठ नहीं बोलना चाहिए, कभी गलत तरीके से पैसा नहीं कमाना चाहिए, पर उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना बहुत मुश्किल है. We all are aware of what is good and what is wrong, but when we come in a particular position, suppose if I am a manager in the organization and if I get such a lucrative offer that if you take decision on this particular lines, then it will be profitable for your company and it will be profitable for you also, but it may not be, or it may be against the general principles of human values. Then how many of us can resist that? जब मुझे ये पता चलेगा कि मुझे इसमें इतना फायदा होगा, मेरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को इतना फायदा होगा, मुझे इंक्रीमेंट मिलेगा, बाकी लोगों के साथ अन्याय हुआ तो चलेगा, मैं मेरा देखूंगा, मेरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का देखूंगा. दैट इज द नॉर्मल प्रिंसिपल. ऑल्दो आई नो that what is good and what is bad, although I know that it is against the human principles, it is against the moral values, but still I'll be doing that. Why? Because it is difficult. तो बिजनेस एथिक्स बोलने में बहुत सिंपल है, लिखने में बहुत सिंपल है, अलग अलग जगह पे बड़े बड़े प्रिंट आउट्स डिस्प्ले करने में बहुत सिंपल है, पर वही सिंपल चीज जब हम इंप्लीमेंट किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में करने जाते हैं तो इट बिकम्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट, एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड एज बिजनेस एथिक्स. नेक्स्ट वन, कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ बिजनेस एथिक्स. नंबर वन, it defines code of conduct of an organization. Very simple. How the organization is, how much importance the organization gives to human values or moral values, it is understood from the business ethics which are being followed by the organization. In an interview, now this was related to JRD Tata, I had just shared you an incident. Now in an interview, Mr. Ratan Tata also had said that in late 1990s, when many airlines were flourishing in India, in those days Mr. Ratan Tata got an offer from the government official that we are ready to clear your proposal for starting a new airline, but you have to give bribe. It will not be mentioned anywhere as normally it is, and we will clear the proposal because your proposal is okay, everything is as per the rules and regulations, but you have to bribe the official if you want to clear your file, otherwise it will take months or years together to clear your file. When Mr. Ratan Tata came to know from his team that this is the condition which is being put by the government officials, that if you bribe, then only your file will be clear, immediately a decision was taken by Mr. Ratan Tata that we will not be starting the airline. So in 1990s, because he had a dream to start an airline. Now, why he had a dream? Because his father, late JRD Tata, had started the airline industry in India. Air India was owned by Tata Group of Industries before independence. Later on, after independence, they handed over the company to the government of India. And in 1990s, when the Indian economy was opened for foreign players to also come in, and when the ease of doing business concept was introduced in the country, and when the rules and regulations related to starting a business was made more flexible in those days, because his father had once a airline, Ratan Tata had also a dream that he also wanted to start an airline, just a tribute to his father. And for that, he prepared the proposal, all the presentations were made, everything what was expected in the proposal was included, except the bribe which was asked. And because of that, the file was not cleared. And when Mr. Ratan Tata came to know about the reason, immediately he withdrew the application. And that is called as business ethics. And in those days, you might be aware of that Kingfisher Airline was there, which was earning profits. Jet Airways was there, which was earning profits. Then other airways were also there, which were earning profits. तो जब जेट एयरवे का अपनी एयरलाइन शुरू हो सकती है, जब किंगफिशर अपनी एयरलाइन शुरू कर सकता है, जब दूसरी छोटी छोटी कंपनीज अपनी एयरलाइन शुरू कर सकती है, तो जो सबसे बड़ी इंडिया की कंपनी है जिसने पहले एयरलाइन इंडस्ट्री इंडिया में शुरू की, वो कंपनी नहीं कर पाई. क्यों नहीं कर पाई? बिकॉज ऑफ बिजनेस एथिक्स, एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड एज एथिक्स. तो बोलना बहुत आसान है, लिखना आसान है, इम्प्लीमेंट या एग्जीक्यूट करना बहुत मुश्किल है. एंड दैट इज the examples which are set by great industrialists or great people. So that was related to the defines the code of conduct. Next one, it protects the social group. Protects the social group means that the human beings or the employees are considered more important than the machines, than the raw material in the organization. Their interests are protected, because protecting the interest of the human beings, of the employees, how can you say that your decisions are correct decisions? Because every decision should not be considered from the point of view of, say, profits, but decisions should also be considered from the point of view of what is right and what is wrong for the employees of the organization. And if the organization is not considering that, then we cannot say that the organization is practicing the principles of ethics. Next one, control business malpractices. Very simple and easily understood. It controls business malpractices. Business malpractices means the unethical practices in the business. So business ethics says that what is right and what is wrong. बहुत सिंपल सी चीज है कि क्या सही है मॉरल वैल्यूज के आधार पर और क्या गलत. तो यहाँ पर प्रॉफिट इज नेक्स्ट, इट इज सेकेंडरी, नॉट प्राइमरी. Primary is your moral values. profit is secondary. So as more focus is given on what is right and what is wrong, we can say that it controls malpractices. Otherwise, what will happen? People will always be thinking of how they can earn more profit. Now, whether the employee interests are taken care or not, but if you want to earn only profit, then the it is not on the basis of the principles of ethics. Ethical. It is not ethical. It will be unethical. Related to moral and social values. So that is, we have already discussed that on what basis these ethics are framed, ethics are formulated. So they are related, they are formulated on the morals or social values. As a human being, we should respect each other. A manager should respect the subordinate, subordinate should respect the manager. It is what this is called as the value system, which we derive, which we get from our parents. And if it is implemented in the organization, then it is good for the organization. It is called as ethical practice. Next one, it requires willingness to accept. Now, this is very important, willingness to accept. Now, what is willingness to accept? As in the first example, I had told you that two questions were asked to the CA. First one, is the suggestion legal? Second one, is the suggestion ethical? Now, here the reply was that yes, it is legal. That means it is correct as per law. Now, it is up to you, up to the organization, as far as we are not doing any illegal thing. It is okay. It is correct. Maybe it may be against the social values, against the cultural values, against the human values. But as it is not against law, it can be called as correct. So it is not forced. Ethical principles you have to willingly accept. You have to willingly implement it in the organization. They are not forced. You have to respect your subordinate, your colleague, your boss. That is not forced. It is not as per law under section this. It is compulsory for all the employees of the organization who are at this level that they have to respect the person who is from this level. Now, no law has a provision like this, but the moral value says that yes, if the employee is of, say, more age, manager is in 30s, the employee is in 50s, so it is expected as per the moral values. जो हम लोग बचपन से सुनते हैं कि अपने से बड़ों की इज्जत करनी चाहिए, उनसे बात करते वक्त हमें इज्जत से बात करना चाहिए, अब्यूजिव लैंग्वेज या किसी फाउल लैंग्वेज में उनसे बात नहीं करनी चाहिए. So although a manager who is sitting as a senior manager in the organization, he is having more power, more salary, more authority than the machine operator who is in 50s. So as per law, it is not compulsory on the part of the manager to always talk to that particular machine operator in a respectable manner. There are no provisions such. But if we talk about human values, yes, depending upon the age of the person, as he is in 50s and the manager is in 30s, it is expected that manager should show respect towards that particular machine operator whenever manager is talking to that machine operator, and that is called as willingness to accept. तो यहाँ पर मैनेजर को कोई फोर्स नहीं कर रहा है, बट अगर वो इथिकल प्रैक्टिसेस उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में इंप्लीमेंट की जाती है, एग्जीक्यूट की जाती है, तो मैनेजर अपने आप उसकी इज्जत करना शुरू करेगा. गिव रिस्पेक्ट एंड टेक रिस्पेक्ट, राइट. नेक्स्ट वन, इट क्रिएट्स द गुड इमेज. Creates good image, again very simple. I have shared you two incidences, one by JRD and the other one was related to Ratan Tata. Now if such incidences we come to know about an organization, that the organization is ready to lose crores of rupees just to protect its values, then what type of image will be created in our minds of that particular organization? And it is very simple, that wow, what a organization. That will be a very clean image, good image of that particular organization. So with this, the organization can improve its image. Relative term means that if the organization is executing whatever is written under the moral values of the organization, if they are executed, implemented as it is, then relatively for a longer term, the organization is going to be in profits. बहुत सारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आती है जो 10 साल में, 20 साल में, 50 साल में बंद हो जाती है. कुछ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऐसी रहती हैं जो 150 साल, 200 साल, 300 साल तक भी चलती रहती हैं और अभी भी चल रही. There are many organizations which are there. Now we all are aware कि 150 साल से टाटा कंपनीज, they are there in the market. It is not that they have just come the last 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, but around 150 years, 150 साल से वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है और आगे भी काफी सालों तक पता नहीं कब तक रहेंगे. क्यों रहेंगे? Because it is based on moral values, ethical principles. जो बोलते हैं वो करते हैं. बोलना एक और करना एक, अगर ऐसा है तो it is not ethical, right? Next one, it requires education and guidance. Very simple. What is ethics? What are human values? What are moral values? What are the ethical principles? And on the basis of those ethical principles or moral values, what are the rights of the employees? All these things the employee will only come to know if they are educated. If they are not educated, if they are illiterate, then it is not possible for them to be aware of that what are the ethical practices of the organization, what are the human values of the organization, and under that, what are their rights. They will not be able to know. Why? Because they are not aware of that. They are illiterate. They are not educated. Now, the next one is importance of business ethics. So many things are related. So characteristics, Some of the characteristics are included in the importance of business ethics also. First importance of business ethics is it controls business malpractices that we had just discussed. Better relations with employees, very simple. Better relations with employees. तो कब होंगे बेटर रिलेशन, कब होंगे एक एम्प्लॉई के अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ अच्छे रिलेशन? जब उसे ऐसी जानकारी मिलेगी कि जो कुछ है, जो भी वैल्यूज कंपनी ने अपनी हैंडबुक में लिखे हैं, अपने नोटिस बोर्ड में लिखे हैं, अपने मिशन और विजन स्टेटमेंट में लिखे हुए हैं, अपने ऑब्जेक्टिव्स में लिखे हुए हैं, वो सारी वैल्यूज, वो सारे इथिकल प्रिंसिपल्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में इंप्लीमेंट भी किए जाते हैं। अगर ऐसा पता चलता है किसी एम्प्लॉय को, तो दैट एम्प्लॉय डेफिनेटली विल हैव अ बेटर रिलेशंस, राइट? नेक्स्ट वन, इट इंप्रूव्स कस्टमर सेटिस्फैक्शन, मॉरल वैल्यूज। जस्ट नाउ आई हैड टोल्ड यू कि अगर हम लोग टीवी देख रहे हैं या मैगजीन में कोई आर्टिकल पढ़ रहे हैं या न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ रहे हैं या कोई इंटरव्यू देख रहे हैं, और उसमें अगर हमारे को ऐसी चीजें पता चलती हैं किसी कंपनी के बारे में, तो व्हाट टाइप ऑफ इमेज वी विल हैव ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर कंपनी। तो एक तरफ हम लोग बात करते हैं टाटा ग्रुप ऑफ कंपनीज की, दूसरी तरफ लास्ट semester itself, under corporate governance, we had discussed a case related to Satyam Computers, where to earn more profit and to raise more money, or to raise more capital for the diversification of Satyam Computers, or for the expansion of Satyam Computers, how Mr. Ramalinga Raju raised the money through unfair practices that were not ethical also, that were illegal practices. So by setting aside all the human values, all the ethical principles, just for the sake of more profits, just for the sake of expansion of his business, he wanted to raise more money. And how he raised more money? With the help of manipulation in the profit statement of the organization. If the organization was earning a profit of 100 crore rupees, he used to show it like 200 crore, 300 crore, or maybe more than that. So that type of financial irregularities was being committed by the company. Just think of one company which is ready to lose crores of rupees for a practice which is legal but not ethical. Then compare other company which is ready to implement unethical as well as illegal practices for the sake of earning money, for the sake of earning profit. So customer satisfaction किसकी तरफ होगा? सत्यम कंप्यूटर्स की तरफ होगा या फिर टाटा ग्रुप की तरफ होगा? Very simple. It increases profitability. Now, how it increases profitability? That is again very simple. People love to work in a company which believes in the principles of ethics, which believes in human values. ऐसी कंपनी में कोई भी काम नहीं करना चाहता जहां पर बोला एक जाता है, कर किया एक जाता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपको बताया गया कि अगर आपने ये जो भी टारगेट कंपनी ने दिया है ये पूरा कर लिया, तो आपको 10,000 रुपए का इंक्रीमेंट दिया जाएगा, और बाद में जब आपका टारगेट अचीव हो जाता है और आप जाते हैं अपने मैनेजर के पास और उसे बताते हैं कि सर मेरा टारगेट अचीव हो गया है, मेरा इंक्रीमेंट ड्यू है, कब से मुझे इंक्रीमेंट मिलेगा। मैनेजर मना कर देते हैं कि मैंने ऐसा बोला ही नहीं। एम्प्लॉय बोलता है नहीं, आपने बोला था, ये दिन था, ये टाइम था, आपने ऐसा बोला था। बट सिर्फ अगर ओरल ओरल रहेगा और इट इज डिफिकल्ट टू प्रूव, एंड इफ द मैनेजर देन सेज कि ठीक है, अगर मैंने बोला था तो ऑफिशियल मेल गया है क्या आपको, मेल का रिकॉर्ड दिखाइए, उसका प्रिंट आउट दिखाइए, मैंने आपको कोई टेक्स्ट मैसेज डाला है क्या, उसका रूल दिखाइए, कंपनी का कोई ऐसा पॉलिसी है क्या जो हमने हमारे मैनुअल में पब्लिश किया है, वो दिखाइए। तो जैसे ही एम्प्लॉय को ये सब क्वेश्चंस किए जाते हैं, immediately organization, the employee will start what? He will always be thinking of, if he gets a better job, then immediately he is ready to leave this company. Why? Because this company is not following the ethical practices or human values. So it may not be illegal. मैं मैनेजर हूं, मैंने अपने सबॉर्डिनेट्स को काम निकालना था, मुझे वो टारगेट बहुत अर्जेंट था, और वो अर्जेंट जो भी टास्क था वो कंप्लीट करना था। तो उन्हें मोटिवेट और एनकरेज करने के लिए मैंने झूठ बोल दिया कि 4 दिन तक आप अच्छे से कीजिए, हम लोग वो टारगेट अचीव कर लेंगे। जैसे ही टारगेट अचीव होगा, मेरी टीम में 10 लोग हैं, 10 की 10 को आई प्रॉमिस दैट देयर विल बी एन इंक्रीमेंट ऑफ 6,000 ईच और 7,000 और 10,000 ईच। ओरली बताया गया, टीम मेंबर्स को, सबॉर्डिनेट्स को लगा कि मैनेजर बता रहा है मतलब सही होगा। सब दिल लगा के काम करते हैं, 8 घंटे से ज्यादा काम करते हैं, और वो टारगेट अचीव हो जाता है। अब ये 10 लोगों की जो टीम है, इनको लगता है कि इनके जो मैनेजर हैं ये इमीडिएटली ऊपर एप्लीकेशन कर देंगे कि इतने लोगों ने ये कर दिया है टास्क पूरा, और अभी इनकी इंक्रीमेंट शुरू कर दी जाए। नहीं की जाती। जब ये लोग जाके उनको पूछते हैं तो वो बोलते हैं कि नहीं, ये तो मैंने सिर्फ कहा था, कहीं रिटर्न में है क्या, कंपनी के रूल के हिसाब से है क्या, कंपनी की पॉलिसी के हिसाब से है क्या। तो अगर ऐसी चीजें शुरू हो गई तो वो 10 लोगों के दिमाग में क्या आएगा कि जो बोला जाता है वो प्रैक्टिस नहीं किया जा सकता। एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अनएथिकल। व्हाट इज अनएथिकल? आप जो भी चीज बता रहे हैं, जो आपकी चीजें, जो रूल्स रेगुलेशन, जो आपकी पॉलिसीज हैं, जो सर्कुलेट की जा रही हैं एम्प्लॉइज को, अगर वो एज इट इज प्रैक्टिस की जाती हैं तो इट इज इथिकल। बट अगर वो प्रैक्टिस नहीं की जाती, अगर आप हमेशा कोई लूप होल ढूंढते हैं कि मैं फंसना नहीं चाहिए, लीगल अगर हो गया तो ही मैं मतलब दूंगा, अगर लीगल मतलब अगर लीगल में हम लोग नहीं फंसते हैं तो सारी प्रैक्टिसेस सही प्रैक्टिसेस। इलीगल प्रैक्टिस नहीं करनी है, पर अनइथिकल हम लोग कर सकते हैं। अगर ऐसी सोच है किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की, तो वहां पर ज्यादा लोग या अच्छे लोग ज्यादा दिन तक शायद रिटेन वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं कर पाएगी। एंड वेरी सून these talented people will leave the organization. Why? Because they have now come to know that to increase the profitability, the human values are being compromised in the organization, right? Now the next one, improves business goodwill, that we have already discussed कि business goodwill normally अगर आज भी हमारे से पूछा जाए कि ह्यूमन वैल्यूज के आधार पे या इथिकल प्रैक्टिसेस के आधार पे 5 भारत की सबसे बड़ी कंपनीज आप उसमें लिखिए, तो शायद ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग उन कंपनी टाटा ग्रुप को देंगे। क्यों देंगे? क्योंकि हम मैगजीन में पढ़ते हैं, हम न्यूज़पेपर में पढ़ते हैं, हम लोग टीवी पे देखते हैं कि व्हाट द कंपनी इज डूइंग फॉर द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द सोसाइटी, फॉर द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द नीडी पीपल, how the company has created a trust and how the trust is involved in various social initiatives, right? So that improves the business goodwill, better decision making. अच्छा डिसीजन कौन सा कहा जाता है? वो डिसीजन जिसमें सिर्फ पैसा ज्यादा मिलता है, वो डिसीजन अच्छा है कि जिसमें पैसे के साथ साथ ये भी ध्यान रखा गया है कि ह्यूमन वैल्यूज के अगेंस्ट में कुछ नहीं। हम लोग लूप होल ढूंढ ढूंढ के पैसा कमाने की कोशिश नहीं कर रहे। हम लोग सिर्फ प्रॉफिट प्रॉफिट और प्रॉफिट के ऊपर कॉन्सेंट्रेट नहीं कर रहे हैं। वी आर ऑल्सो कॉन्सेंट्रेटिंग ऑन द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ ह्यूमन वैल्यूज और द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ सोशल वैल्यूज, राइट? लास्ट वन, प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ सोसाइटी। हमारा कल्चर अगर हमें प्रोटेक्ट करना है, हमारी सोसाइटी को अगर हमें प्रोटेक्ट करना है, अगर हमें अपने वैल्यूज को अपने बच्चों तक पहुंचाना है और हम चाहते हैं कि हमारे बच्चे उनके बच्चों तक अगर वो वैल्यूज पहुंचाएं, तो क्या करना पड़ेगा उसके लिए? क्या सिर्फ पैसा कमाना है? अगर मेरी लाइफ का एम सिर्फ इतना है कि आई वांट टू earn more and more and more money so that my child should live a better life, the best life. He should be having all the facilities of all the luxurious facilities. So that will not improve the society. But the simple practices. But if I teach my child that honesty is the best policy, whenever an elder comes to our house, you have to take the blessings of that elder. You have to wish the elder. Whenever you are talking to any person in the family or outside the family, you have to be polite. You should see to it that you are not using any filthy, foul, or abusive language whenever you are talking to someone else. So all these simple principles, simple values, if we start giving it to our children, and if they give to their children, then definitely this society will be benefited, and that will be the protection of the society. Now just imagine that all of us or most of us just after money, because we want that I could not get the facility, say, of a car or a bike, but I should see to it that my child gets the car, gets the flat, gets the house, gets the say luxury of foreign stays or foreign visits. तो ये सारी चीजें मैं सिर्फ अगर मटेरियलिस्टिक सोचता हूँ कि मेरे माँ बाप शायद मुझे उतना नहीं दे पाए, मैं चाहूंगा कि मेरे बेटे को इतना मिलना चाहिए, बेटी को उतना मिलना चाहिए, पर मैं अगर प्रिंसिपल्स पे कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर रहा हूँ, वैल्यूज पे कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर रहा हूँ, अगर मेरे बच्चे देखते हैं कि मेरे पेरेंट्स कहीं और रहते हैं, मैं मेरे पेरेंट्स को ध्यान नहीं देता हूँ, मैं नहीं पूछता हूँ वो कैसे हैं, या जब उन्हें मेरी सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत है तब मैं वहां नहीं रहता। अगर ऐसी छोटी छोटी चीजें बच्चे ऑब्जर्व करते हैं तो क्या हम एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि आगे चल के वो हमारे साथ ये नहीं करेंगे या उनके बच्चे उनके साथ ऐसा नहीं करेंगे? So these are very simple values, but to protect our society, we have to start spreading these values. Atithi Devo Bhava. That is the principle which we learn from our, say, grandparents, parents. They have learned that from their parents. Honesty is the best policy. We have to respect elders, give respect and take respect, respect teachers. All these things we have learned from our parents. They have learned from their parents. They have learned from their parents. So these are called as Indian values. These values should be protected if we want to grow. So these were the importance of business ethics. Now the next one is the types of ethics. Under that, we will be discussing the three major types. That is transactional ethics. Then we will be discussing the participatory ethics, and we will be discussing the recognition ethics. So these three types of ethics, as just 5 minutes are remaining, we will not be able to cover all the three. So we will stop here. Come prepared for these three ethics. Start reading. This is a very interesting subject which the university has introduced. We should be aware of the importance of these small things. हमारे को ऐसा लगता है कि बहुत छोटी चीज है, किसी की रिस्पेक्ट करनी चाहिए, बड़ों की रिस्पेक्ट करनी चाहिए, चोरी नहीं करनी चाहिए, गलत नहीं बोलना चाहिए, झूठ नहीं बोलना चाहिए, बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजें। पर यही छोटी छोटी चीजें, यही छोटी छोटी वैल्यूज क्रिएट वैल्यू टू योर लाइफ। दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। तो what is transactional ethics, what is recognition ethics, and what is participatory ethics? Please come prepared for tomorrow's session, right? So we can have a discussion on the type of ethics. So with this, we will conclude today's session. Thank you everyone for being present for today's session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.